Hi guys. Hello. Welcome to Charities Bubble USA. Like I said, I was gonna be live today, and here I am trying to just fix my video here a little bit. I hope you are there. Q&A live show today. I'm trying to fix my settings here on YouTube so that you can see me clearly. Let me see one person. Type your name there and tell me where you are. And I will acknowledge you here in a little bit. I hope you're doing fine. 3 people. I'm trying to fix my video here. 3 people there. I can see. This is Charities Bubble USA. I'm trying to just put my video where everybody can see it. I hope you guys are doing fine. There we go. Hello, 6 people. You have to you have to get off and go to YouTube and do your settings correct. Otherwise, it's not gonna come on. I hope you're doing fine. I see people there. 6 people, guys. It's been a while. It's been a while, but now I'm back, guys. I am back. I see some people there. Type your name there. I'm gonna acknowledge you here in a little bit. It's 12 p.m., guys, here in the US. 12 p.m. sharp. I hope you're doing fine. And if you have a question, you type it there. We're gonna talk about it. Charities Bubble USA. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly consider subscribing. Today I'm gonna be taking some questions that I haven't been able to answer online. I know I've tried to answer some, but what I haven't talked about, we're gonna talk about today. 7 people. Please share my video. Please like my video. Please subscribe. Make a comment there. I'm going to acknowledge you here in a little bit. Today is the 6th of August 2022. It's a bright day here. It's so hot. It's hardly nobody wants to go outside. Actually, I went outside for a few minutes. I was like, oh my goodness, it's so hot. It's very, very hot. But like I said on my previous video, I was going to do a live show today. I see people are coming on. I'm going to give it 3 more minutes. It's 12 or 1 p.m. And then we are going to talk about stuff. Going to answer some questions. I'm trying to look at my phone here to see if I have some questions, of which I think I do. I do have some questions here. And I'm going to acknowledge you guys in a little bit. I haven't done a live in like almost a whole month. Yeah, but I was kind of busy. I was a little bit busy trying to adjust myself. Because like I told you guys, here when you're going to school, you have to plan what you're doing. Otherwise, if you're not able to plan, then everything goes wrong. You work with the schedule. That's why you weren't seeing me online so many times, because I was very busy. But now I am back until we open school. Schools are almost opening. Schools are almost opening, 12:02 p.m. I hope you guys are doing fine. I see someone there tuned in from China. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, guys. Thank you. I am trying to check my phone here. 1 minute. And I'm going to talk about that, Simon, here in a little bit, but I'm going to acknowledge you guys. When it's 12:04, we have 1 more minute to wait for people to come on. After 4 minutes, I'm going to start. 11 people there. If you have a question, kindly type it there. Type it there. And thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for always liking. I normally tell you guys, when you come across my video, please give it a thumbs up. It's not gonna cost you much to give it a thumbs up. Just give it a thumbs up, make a comment. You can even make an emoji. It doesn't matter. You can do that. So 12:03 p.m. One more minute, and we are gonna talk about what you want me to talk about. Actually, when I do my live shows, I normally do not have. I normally like to talk about what you present there, because when I am live, I can interact with you and I'm able to answer your question directly and you can get the answer. 12:04 p.m. So let's see who is online right now. Money Talks, hi. Welcome to the show. This is Judith from Uganda. George Mwangi is tuned in from Eldoret. Simon, I see you have a question there. Veronica Karanja tuned in from Zimmerman. Simon tuned in from Uganda. And then I have Richard Kongo tuned in from China. Thank you for joining me, Richard. And then I have Simon one again. He has a question there about how to prepare for the DV Lottery 2024. Like I said, it's gonna come on in October. It normally comes on in early October, and it stops on early November. So normally there is no like minimum requirement. Like there's no, I wouldn't say that there's a requirement. Although when you win your DV lottery, you will need to have your Form 4 certificate, that is your high school certificate. And if you don't have that, of course, you need to have an equivalency of 2 years job experience, and it has to fit their requirements. That's all you need. But when you're starting, because I was having this conversation with this lady, she was telling me she has she went up to class 8, but she has been doing business. But if you go back to my videos, there's a video that I have talked about job qualification. Because if you don't have a certificate, you will need that qualification. Whereby you go to that website. I think I should type it here. I hope I don't. Let me see what I can do here so that I can bring on another screen to show you if you have not been able to, if you weren't able to go to Form 4. If you weren't able to go to Form 4, then what can you what job qualification qualifies? So I'm still here. I'm trying to type here that website, .net online. So I'm gonna bring it here in a little bit, and I'm gonna share it with you guys so that you can see where you go, because most people reach out, they're like, are we closed out because we didn't go to high school? Now you find that if you had gone to high school, and if you didn't go to high school actually, and I hope you can see my screen there. Type there and tell me if you can see my screen. I hope you can. So we have this website. You go in here. It's called, let me see. Let me click on it here. So you go to this website, or it's an asterisk actually, net online, and then you find occupations, whereby you find that when you go to this website, you put in what qualifies a job zone. Normally they go by a job zone. So let's look at something like I like to do interior design, interior designers, and then we can see what that is. Let's see, interior designers. So you come here and you look at all that stuff. So when you look here, this is job zone 4, and then it has an SVP range of 7.0 to 8.0. So normally if you haven't gone to high school, you just look at the range. Now a job that ranges from 7 to 8, that one will qualify you to be able to give them that work experience. 17 people are watching me. Thank you for joining. So that's where you go. So it doesn't mean that if you didn't go to high school, like you're outright disqualified. You can give work experience of 2 years, but the job that you're doing has to qualify. It really has to qualify. For example, something like hairdressing, if you go and type there hairdressing, it's not going to qualify because the job, the SVP range is lower. It's lower. So that's where you go and look. And if you go back to my videos, like I said, you will see that I've explained very well about the work qualification, because if you don't qualify with going to high school, then you can qualify with that. And I normally say, just try the DV lottery. Let's assume, even for example, you're married, you didn't go to high school, but your spouse went to high school. If they win, you will be their derivative. That is, you are going to qualify because of them. So there are so many ways. And another thing that I like to talk about is, if you have a child who is gonna turn 18 by the time the DV lottery comes out next year, have them fill out the DV lottery. And then when they win, they can process, they can come here, they stay here, and then they can always file for you, because you can file for your parents to come and live in the US. So there are many ways that you can do it, and you are able to, you look for different ways. You apply, your wife applies. If your child is almost to turn 18, they apply, but they do a separate application, but you still put them in your own application, and that gives you more chances to win the DV lottery. It gives you the chances to win the DV lottery. So I hope that I've talked about that preparation. Now, there is nothing much else that you need to do, actually. After you apply, then when it comes back, like the people who won the DV 2023, when you have won is then when you start thinking about they're going to send you an email. You're going to need money to do the processing, because that's where the processing comes in. And like I said, it's good to learn to do the DV lottery by yourself. Because when it starts, I'm going to be here live, and we're going to go to the website, just like I did last year, and I'm going to walk you through how to do it. So there is no point of you going to a cyber person so that they can do for you, and then they hide your confirmation number, especially if they know that you have won, and then they want you to pay them. That's unnecessary. It's very, very, very unnecessary. I was talking to this person, and she was saying she won the lottery, but the person who filled for her did not want to give her the confirmation number, which is kind of unfortunate, because that thing is free of charge. If you do it by yourself, learn to do it by yourself, because even when you come to live here in the US, most of the time you will be doing them by yourself. Nobody is going to help you. This is a different world whereby you do stuff by yourself. So it's very, very important for you to learn how to do it. And it's actually self-explanatory. There is nothing there that is going to be so hard for you to do. Okay, now Richard is asking, can you talk more about coming there to attend conferences? Yes, there are so many conferences that come on, and it varies. It depends on the seasons. We have church conferences. We have when they're doing. I know the one for HIV/AIDS is coming on in December. You find that there are so many, but normally you have to look online and see. You can type online just blindly conferences in the US, and you see the ones that come up. When you see the ones that come up, of course, that's going to be a different, because that is not an immigrant visa. It's a non-immigrant visa that you get to come to a conference. And normally what they require is that when you do apply for the conference and you go to the embassy, you just need to prove beyond reasonable doubt that when you come to the conference, you're going to go back. That's the only thing. If you're able to prove that, and you normally prove if you have family ties, if you have a job, if you have maybe you have a business, you show them, I have to go back to this. This is what I have to go back for. Because by the time you go for your interview, the consular he has, he has already made up that conclusion that when you go, you will not come back. So it is your job to make sure that you are telling them, you're showing them the facts that when I go, I will go back home. That's the only thing that they require. And then they let you go. And then when you are going for your interview, just be yourself. Just be yourself. And if you're saying about something, know that you will be able to prove it. And another thing, do not volunteer information. And I'm having that problem with people who are going to the embassy, especially this last month for DV 2022. because they have so much. They're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I was told to do this. I was told to do this. Now, DV lottery is very different. That's a lottery that you have won. If you have all the documents that you need, hmm, you have all the documents that you need, and you have not you don't have any criminal offenses, and you don't have like anything bad, you're not a terrorist. When you go for a DV lottery, normally the interview with the consular takes less than 5 minutes, guys. It doesn't take long. But you find that the people who have won the DV lottery, what's going on is that you go to ask for advice for someone who had gone to the embassy for a different kind of visa, because these visas are different. Maybe this person had gone for a student visa, or maybe they had gone for a visitor's visa, or they had gone even for that conference visa that we were talking about, and they were not given. So if you go to ask for advice from that person, then that person is going to mislead you, because these visas are different. They are very, very different. So if you have won a DV lottery, just follow the instructions of what they are telling you. If you follow the instructions, you'll be good, guys. You don't have to worry. Oh, because this other one was like, can you tell me what they're gonna ask me? No, I told you, when you go there, the papers that you fill, even when you're coming for a non-immigrant visa, you fill out the DS 160. For the DV lottery, you fill out the DS 260. They will ask you questions from there. They're not going to ask you which hand questions, no, unless you volunteer information. So it's very, very important for you guys to categorize. So if you have a DV lottery, follow the instructions. If you have the DS 160, know in your mind that you need to prove beyond reasonable doubt that when you come, you will be able to go back. Okay, so I hope that I've talked about that. Judith Wanjira from Nakuru, thank you for joining me. Let me see. Judith, my question is about a marriage certificate. Is church certificate valid as long as it's from an authorized church? And number two, what happens if the marriage certificate has an error in age? Now, the marriage certificate, when you go to get a marriage certificate, whether you're going to get it from a church or whether you're going to get it from a government office, you find that those people, especially the pastors, they have to be certified to give a marriage certificate. And that's why you find that when you announce that you're doing a wedding, they normally do like an announcement for like, I don't know if it's 30 or 90 days, I think 3 months, 90 days. So that by the time you get that certificate, nobody else is claiming that you are their spouse. So if you have that from a church, and you know that your pastor is certified, you're good to go. You're good to go. And when I'm talking about the marriage certificate, if you're married and you don't have a marriage certificate, there's something that's called traditional marriage. And I've talked about that several times, because when we won our DV lottery, we had done we had that traditional marriage. We did not have the marriage certificate. We never had that. So what we did is that because they required that in paper, because being married without a marriage certificate in Africa doesn't mean that you are married. Even our parents, some of our parents have not done the white wedding, but they have been married traditionally, you know. So if you have that, what you need to do, you'll just go and kind of renew or maybe get that document because you need it. And that's what we did. We just went and we got that document from our church priest, and that was it. So there is no way that you can be married. Maybe you have 2 kids and you've been living with your husband or your wife for 5-10 years, and then you are asking, what should I write? You are married because you are. You're married under customary law, and you find that Africa is different. When you come here in the US, it's a little bit different. It's going to be very, very different, because unless someone marries you and you have a marriage certificate, that is when they say that that's my husband. But if you live with someone, you have lived with them even for 20 years, and they have not gotten the marriage certificate, you have not gone to legalize your marriage, they normally say that's my boyfriend. It's I used to be puzzled. I'm like, that's your boyfriend? You've lived with them for like 10 years? But that's how it is. If someone has not married you legally here, they are your boyfriend. But you find that in Kenya it's different. If you have lived with a person for, I think for like 6 months, that person is entitled to be like you're married. When if they take you to court, you still have a right. Now, I also want to talk about something else. I know, like, this one is like it has hit. I've been looking at online stories about whereby the people now are marrying two women, and even some of them are living in the same house, which I don't have a problem with it. Personally, I cannot personally myself. I don't agree with it, but it looks like that's the trend nowadays. So you find that if you're married to two wives, you have two wives, and you win the DV lottery. Now you can only put one wife there. Because when you come here in the US, you cannot have two wives. Like, this is a one wife country. You can only have one wife. It's different. It's not like the African way. But you find that in the African way that people are getting married, and that they're having actually, there's this one I was watching that this person is married, and the women are living in the same house. I was like, oh my gosh. I cannot. I don't know. But people are different, and people are just different. But for me, I don't know if I can do that. So if you are applying and you have 5 wives or 10 wives, you can only put on one wife there. And it can be debatable, because you find that even if you have those 2 wives, you can marry them customarily. But when you go to whatever, sometimes I don't know if you can get all those marriage certificates. I don't know. But when you're winning the when you're applying for the DV lottery, it's only going to be one wife. And the kids, even if they are from your stepchildren, or they are adopted children, all of them have to be involved. But you cannot apply with 2 wives. That one is not going to happen. Now, question number 2 was like, what happens if the marriage certificate has an error in age? Now, you can always change that. You can always go and have it changed, because the dates really matter, guys. They really do matter. So you can always have that changed. Some processes are not so hard. Just go and request for them to change your date of birth, to put your actual date of birth there, because the date of birth is important. Because the marriage certificate it's an important document. After you win your DV lottery, they will ask you for that. So make sure that it's correct. And if your name is wrong, if your name is wrong, just make it easy for yourself and get an affidavit to state that those are your names. And I remember my first name was wrong. When I got my Kenyan ID, my name was wrongly spelled. And I stayed without that for 6 years when I came to the US. But when I became a citizen is when I changed my name. So the only thing that I did is that I had an affidavit. My cousin helped me to get an affidavit stating that that name was mine, because it was different from the one that was on my school certificate. So I just had an affidavit, and that they didn't ask me anything when they saw my affidavit. So some of the things, they're easy to do, and you can do them to make it easier for you. All right. Any second round lottery for DV 2023, that's a yes and no question, because the DV lottery, how it works is that out of those 55,000 visas, they allocate them in different regions. Now, there can only be a second lottery if the people who are selected, either they do not process, or the number that they wanted to exhaust those visas is not enough. Maybe, for example, the people who are selected, they are not enough. And maybe it's like 40,000 and they still want the 55,000, then there can be that one. But that it comes on if that happens. So I cannot say yes or I cannot say no. The only thing that I can tell you is that keep your confirmation number, and before the end of August 2024, you can check. That's the only thing that I can tell you. But I cannot tell you that we are going to have a second lottery. No, it depends with them and their numbers. If the numbers are very low for the people who process, there's some people still who are going to process and they don't qualify. Maybe they had some crimes, or maybe so many things. There's so many things that can make you to be denied at the DV lottery, because winning doesn't mean that you're going to be given. You have to follow their instructions. So it's very, very important. Keep it. Keep it. And by the end of the term for DV 2023, which is going to be August of next year, then you can check. If it's there, then maybe you might be selected. But what I can also advise you is that when the DV 2024 comes on, please apply. Do not give up. Please apply. Now, hello, Charity. This is Charles Kongwai. Kongwai. I hope I pronounced that one correctly. Hello, Charity. Thanks for the tremendous job. Please, ma, I would like I would like to be calling on your live video. Yeah, we can do that on the live video, but let me do that on the next video because let me do that on the next video so that I can make it situated properly. I like to be prepared. So we can do the Zoom next time. I'll do another Saturday live next Saturday, the same time. And I'll invite you to come on the live show. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll do the Zoom, Richard. So let's see. Okay. Hi, I hope you are good. Sending my hi from South Africa. I applied for DV 2023 but did not win. So sad, but we'll apply for again. Now, this is a lottery, guys. And like I said before, is that when you win a DV lottery, when you apply for a DV lottery, please do not put all your thoughts there. Hmm? What you do is that you have applied, let it be. Like you find that there was a lottery that was going on here in the US, like, oh my gosh, it was a lot of money. And everybody was playing the lottery. Everybody was playing the lottery. I think it reached up to 100 billion. So everybody was playing. But when you play, I remember I've never played the lottery. About the DV lottery, yes, I did. And I was like, let me try this one and see if, try my luck because it's good to try your luck. If you do a lottery, you don't put it in your mind. Just put it aside and continue with your life. And when the time is there to apply, you go and look. Whether you win or not, you are able to move on. But if you put your 100% mind there on the DV lottery, then it's going to be a problem. So even if you don't win the DV 2023, apply for the DV 2024. Keep on applying because it doesn't cost any money to do the application. And do it for yourself. Do not let someone do the application for you and then after you win, because you never know you can win, then they're hiding your confirmation number. Like I told you, I was discussing with this person and she was so stressed. She was like, I have won, but they don't want to give me my the paper unless I pay them. You don't want to go through that. So I will walk you through when DV 2024 comes on, and we'll go about that. Now, Frank Boturi is saying, hi Charity, one of Joe Biden's manifesto was to increase DV immigrants from 55K to 80K. Does this, is this still environment or what happened? So nothing happened. What I told you guys is that when it comes to implementing the laws in the US, I only come and talk about here if it has been implemented, if it's gone, if it's done, if it's there, if it has happened. That's when I like to talk about, because US politics is very complex. It's kind of complex. Like we were voting the other day, we were voting about abortion rights. And, coming from Africa, abortion, we know like it's wrong. And I think even me as a person being a Catholic, I know it's wrong. So I was so much praying that it was gonna pass, that like it's not there, that law is not there. But you find that actually our state, they voted for that law to stay. So you find that some of the things that are political, I normally like to talk about them when something has happened. Like here in the state, it's gonna be legal, But so that's how I talk about it. So when they say that they are gonna increase the immigrants from 55,000 to 80,000, that is still there. But when it happens, I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna let you know. So that's why I leave at it, because I really don't talk about politics is complex. Now let's talk about Kenya right now, because people are almost going to the election, and I just pray that there is gonna be peace, because that's all that I can pray about, guys. But look at it. I voted for the current president. I think his first term. I did vote, and actually, I don't know, for some reason, I thought that he was going to turn out to be good and he was going to keep his promises or whatever. But this morning I was listening to him. He was like, oh, I said it was for me 10 years and the other person was going to be 10 years. But he gave an excuse saying that he did not say that person was going to throw them in the drain. For me, I don't understand, because I know if you give a promise, then you must keep it. You must keep the promise. So that has when you look at his community, and I don't want to be tribal here, but when you look at the community, when you look at Mwai Kibaki, when he left, he was kind of able to put people together so that they could speak with one voice. right now, and Central has got a big basket, or the Central province has a big basket of votes. You find that right now they are divided. They don't know where to go. Why? Because the leader that we were having was not able, like, to bring them together. It doesn't matter who they vote for, whether they vote for Raila Odinga or whether they vote for Ruto. It doesn't matter, but then they needed a leader who was gonna put them together and show them the way. Because without a leader, people do not know how to decide well without a leader. But when you look at right now, it's like you don't even know what will happen. And at the same time, when I look at the other side of the coin, I look at this person that he is supporting. I see it's like, when you go to a golf club and it's full of rich people, you are not going to want a poor person to come in because you think that that poor person will be needy. And that's how I see it, because I don't understand why only the rich people are the ones that are supposed to have those high seats and everything. I still believe even a commoner has the right even to taste. We see, how is it going to go with these people whose parents were not the kings or the presidents or whatever. That's how I see it. I'm not voting in Kenya, but that's my kind of opinion, whereby I see that I was watching this other one whereby there's this boy, this guy who is vying for, I think it's Mathare. And I remember they're in the motorcade and everything. And this leader says he's going to give him a job. And that person is vying for a parliamentary seat. But he doesn't want him to be there. He wants the person who has been there and done nothing for the Kenyan people in Mathare. He wants that person to remain. For me, that's not fair. It's very, very unfair. And I don't want to be political, but what I can say is that when you're going to vote, because the voting is going to happen, look at all those dynamics and see. These people want to have that, to embrace everything, to have that circle of the rich. But you find that when a poor person or a commoner wants to come in, they might not have all the points, 100% points, because I wouldn't say that Ruto has 100% points. No, I'm not going to say that, because he has his flaws. But for me, I think change is good. Change is very, very good. And it's hard, but when you go to vote wisely, and do not attack your neighbors because you did not win, because you have that neighbor you've lived in for a long time. And when you've lived with your neighbor, then because that neighbor supports this person and this other person is supporting this person, then you're not going to like them after the election outcome. No, because those people, even if you fight, even if whatever you do, they are not going to come to your aid. Right now, I know for every politician who is vying right now in Kenya, you can reach them by phone. But after the election and after they get that certificate, you cannot reach them by phone. You cannot. You will not reach them. So that's what you should be asking yourself. Is it worth it to cause trouble with your neighbor? Or is it worth it to choose peace? So it's very, very important for people to be peaceful. After you have done the election, know that when you vote for someone, most people do not help. That's the African way. At least here in the US, when people vote, they hold someone accountable. Someone is held accountable, whereby if they do not deliver, the next time they are not gonna be elected by anybody. But you find that in Africa, it's a little bit different. And I think we are still growing in democracy. And I know there will be a time whereby people will judge people by their actions, and they will vote for the people who really, really deserve those seats. So it's very, very important for Kenyans, guys, to have a peaceful election. It's very, very important, because it doesn't help to fight your neighbor. It doesn't help anything. So just go vote for whoever you feel like is right for you, and then go home and continue with your work. Because after you have voted, after those people have gotten those certificates from the IBC, believe me, and mark my words, you will try to call those numbers that you can reach right now, and you're not going to reach them. You won't reach nobody. So it's good to know that, and it's good to know that peace is important. It's very, very important to be peaceful. That is digressing. All right, Zahara, thanks, dear. All right, hi, watching from Nairobi, Githurai 44. That is Melanie Nikata. Thank you for joining me. Okay. Zahara GCDM, kindly share your contact. Add me to your group for DB Winners 2023. I don't have a group right now. I prefer to be contacted directly. And if you contact me directly, I normally answer your question. So go to my Facebook page at Charity Nganga or at Charities Bubble Funds. Send me a message on Messenger, and I am going to we're gonna go from there. Okay, Zahara is watching from Uganda. All right, guide me how to get a host if I know nobody in the US. Now, I've always talked about networking because when you interact with people who are abroad, then it's very easy for you to get a host. Mm? Right now, I'm going to host someone and I'm going to bring them on after they are done with everything. I'm going to bring them on and we are going to have this conversation. So it's very, very important for you to do something called networking. For me, the person that I am hosting, I would say it's a friend. But what can I say? When I came here, I was hosted by a stranger, like someone that I didn't know, and I'm kind of trying to do the same thing. Although I've done my own research and everything, but it's very very important for you to network with people. There are so many people who can help you, but you have to be able to reach out. So reach out to me, and then we are gonna see how we are gonna go about that. Hi, Charity. Tunapigia right now. That's fine. That's your own choice. It's fine. Go vote and be peaceful. That's my whatever. Because even if I talk about it here, I'm not going to help much because, I'm very far away. The only thing that it would break my heart to see people not being peaceful, but peace is important, guys, for the sanity for our children. And for that's all that I can ask. Kenneth Moturi is saying, yeah, we choose peace. Yeah, it's very very important to be peaceful. Very very important, guys. To be peaceful. Because I don't know, but we are praying for Kenya. We are praying for Kenya so that there can be peace. Now, let me see if I have another question. I don't see another question here, but I see Job TV watching me from Ghana. Let me see if I have another question here. So there was this one was funny because saying by the way, it was, by the way, do people stop to the road to urinate on people's land, or all people are also disciplined in that area? Now I find that here in the US there's a kind of a setting, and that's how the way it's set up. Like if you go to an open area, you'll find so many trash cans everywhere. You'll find a trash can. So you find that people know, like it's in their mind that when you do something or when you have trash, you have to take it to a trash can. The same thing if there's a stop area somewhere. If you're going through the road, you're going maybe for a trip, you find that there are these places called stop area, rest area actually, whereby the trucks stop. And you find that for every, I think 2 miles, I think it's every 2 miles or 1 mile. I don't remember very well, but you find that you'll go and find that stop area. So that stop area, you're gonna go find a toilet. You're gonna go find some vending machines whereby you can buy snacks. So you find that people do not have that habit of stopping on the road because they know, and you're following your GPS when you're going somewhere. It's telling you there's a rest area in like so many minutes, maybe like 1 hour, there's going to be a stop area, or maybe like 2 hours, there's going to be a stop area. So you know that you're going to find that stop area and you're going to do your business there. So it's structured differently here. And that's why I tell you, when you come here, it's a little bit different. You'll have to stay and learn the culture here, because the culture is very very different. Just like the other question that I was talking about, this person who was saying, can't I buy my house in my own cash? Yes, you can. But when you come in for the first time, it's good to get familiar with this place, because you are coming to a different world, guys. It's very very different. And I don't know, everything is just different, from the way things are done, from the way even we go to buy, even the market. We are used to going to the market to buy fresh vegetables and everything. All that changes because you have to go to the supermarket to get everything. Of course, there is like here in Wichita, we have like a market that comes on Saturday, a farmers market whereby you can go and buy stuff. But if you're used, like, the orientation will be like you're going to the store to buy everything. The same case, you find that if most of the time when you're back there, you're used to using cash. You find that when you come here, you will use cash, yes, but not so many times, because you'll use a card. Most of the time that you're doing all your transactions, you're going to be using your card. Another thing is that when you go to ask for something like a debt, a loan, you necessarily do not need to have someone to come and co-sign with you if you have a good credit, because when what they look at is do you have a new credit, do you have a good credit, what are the trends of how you pay your debts. Maybe you got this credit card for $500. Did you pay it on time? Did you pay it according to the time? But that doesn't mean that you get a credit card of maybe a $500 and you pay it in one day. That doesn't build your credit. It doesn't. So if they give you with 1 year and they tell you you'll be paying like $50 every month or whatever, if you go with those payments, by the time you're done, that builds your credit. You know what I mean? So they look at your credit history, that is your debt history, how you pay your debt, and then they will be able to give you something. You'll be able to buy if it's a car, you'll be able to buy if it's a house. But nobody can stop you from buying it cash. But the trend is, especially when you win the DV lottery, when you're coming on, sometimes it's hard because most people, when they come here, they don't have a lot of money. And yes, you can have money. I'm not saying that you won't have money, but when you compare the dollar with the currency of where you're coming from, it varies. So you find that you would say that you have a lot of money, but at the end of the day, when you come on this other side, you convert the money into the dollar, it becomes very little. Like it's very, very, very little money. I remember when we came in, we only had 100,000 Kenya shillings. But when we came and converted that, it was only $1,000. And $1,000 is not much, guys. It can pay your bills, whatever, but it's not much because it's not going to be able, it cannot even be able to sustain you for a whole month. You see what I mean? And that's why you will need a host to guide you and show you. Now, let's talk about a host a little bit. Do you really? Yes, you need a host, but let's assume like you can show them that you can be able to support yourself. Yes, you have won the DV lottery. Actually, I was reading about this and I was like, yeah, this one is something that I need to tell them. Like, maybe you have assets, maybe you have a business, a very good doing business, and you have all those ones. You have something to show that you're able to support yourself. By that time you will come in, or maybe you have experience, you find that with that you can go and come in without a host. You see what I mean? Although you still need an address. You still need an address for the host, but you won't need all this documentation for the I-34 stuff and the documents for the 1040 if you have all those assets that you are able um, to show them that you can support yourself. The only thing that you would need from your host would just be the address. You can do that, but you find that most people in Africa, and I'm not going to say that it's everybody, but a higher percentage in Africa, you're not going to be able to reach there. So it's important for you to have that person, your guide. You will need that guide. Okay. So what is the date for the DV 2024 Job TV? They're going to announce. They normally announce the dates. But it's going to be early October. It's going to be early October and it's going to end in early November. So as soon as they announce, they normally come live and they announce. You will know. Right. So, hello, Charity. Is there a need to reopen the DS260 if one did a mistake when choosing the month when one completed the high school diploma? Yeah, you can reopen it and correct it. You can reopen. It's called, you can unlock it actually and reopen and correct where you are wrong. You can do that if you made a mistake. So it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal for you to reopen that. Now, let me see if I have another question. So how much, I talked about renting or buying a house in Texas. It depends on the state that you are going in, because I see people are selective. They are like, I want to go to this state. I want to go to this state. Actually, it doesn't matter where you're going. It does not matter as so long as you are able to work hard. Because when you come here, you have to be able to work hard and you have to be able to be on the right side of the law, especially if you have come with a DV lottery. Those five years, the beginning 5 years, you have to work very hard and restart your life, because you are restarting your life. And it's not gonna be, at the beginning it's not gonna be easy, because you're starting from zero. But 1 year, 2 years down the line, you'll be fine. You'll be fine if you work hard. Now, let's see. There was another person who was asking me about DV Lottery 2021. They are still waiting. Now, if you're still waiting for DV Lottery 21, please stop waiting, because that one is gone. Even this one, DV 2023, when it's on September 30th, when it's closed. Is it? Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. When it's closed, that's done. We are waiting for the DV 2024. So when it's gone, you cannot talk about year 2021 or year 2020 because those ones are gone. Because there was this, she kept on texting me and texting me. And it's not that I was ignoring her, it's because I was busy. But then I hope that if someone else is waiting for those DV lotteries for those long times, those ones are gone. Job TV is telling me to share my videos from Texas. I haven't worked on them. I'm going to work on them and edit them and so that I can post them. Because like I told you guys, I was very, very busy, very busy trying to work hard because I have to go back to school on the 18th. Schools are opening in the 18th. And I would like you guys to apply for school. If you can apply for a school, the school year starts this month in August. But when you want to apply, you apply for the coming year, the coming school year, do the application. Do the application, and when you get your I-20, then you process it, you come to school in the US. If you come to the school in the US, you stand a chance of good things because you can come and do some different courses, and then you apply for a work permit because of course you have some accumulated hours that they will let you like kind of work like an internship. So you apply and you can, when you're on this side, it's wiser. It's wiser for you to like maneuver and maybe get a work permit and be able to work and live here in the US. So it's good. Even those people who have kids who are finishing high school, or maybe they are in college in whatever year, it's very, very important that they can try and apply. And it's not only in the US, you can apply anywhere else abroad. It's very, very important for us to be encouraging our kids, because sometimes it's not only the DV lottery. You can come with other things. If someone is having a graduation, you're going to graduate, or someone is having a wedding, ask them to invite you. And then when you go there, like I said, it's important for you to prove beyond reasonable doubt that you're going to come back. And when you get the visa, that's better for you. It's better for you because it's easier. I would say it's easier to talk with someone who is here than when someone is out there. Look for those conferences and try to apply for them. Okay, maybe Texas is your favorite state. It's one of your favorite states. No, it's not. I just go to visit. There was last year. Last year we went to New York. We went to New York, the border of Canada and US. We went there. We went to Niagara Falls. So I like to just to go and see. So every year we kind of try to go and see like how that states look like. Is it different from Kansas or whatever? But you find that most of the things are the same. When you go, you are expecting like maybe the food is gonna be different. No, nothing is different. Maybe the hotels are gonna be different. Nothing is different. The houses, the, I would say they are the same. The setting is the setup can be different outside and everything, but you go inside, the same things that you will find when you go to buy a house or rent a house is the same things that you're going to find there. But the cost varies. And I told you the cost varies because of the life expectancy. If you go to Texas and if I go to work in Texas as a nurse right now, I'm going to be paid more than a person who is working here in Kansas because the life is different. If someone goes to New York, another one goes to California, it's different, but you find that the life is all the same. I would say it's all the same, but it depends with the cost of living in that specific state. So I wouldn't say that I have a favorite one. I think I'm kind of settled in Kansas right now because right now this is why I'm bringing up my kids, and I do not want to uproot them and take them to another state to start life. And why I like here in Kansas, like I would say, Kansas is my favorite right now because there's no traffic. We went to Texas and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of traffic there. So I prefer like whereby if I want to go to work, 15 minutes, I'm at work, whatever, and it's kind of slower. And of course, we've started to invest in Kansas, like because my husband is doing real estate. So I don't know if we are able like to move out and just uproot everything and go somewhere else. No, we are not going to do that. So my favorite is there, but you can go to any state and thrive. It all depends on how much you want to work hard. Okay. Now, Charity, please explain the difference between trade school and normal school for kids. Now, trade school is in college. When they go for trade school, it's like when someone is doing plumbing. They're doing plumbing, or maybe they are doing air conditioning, or maybe they are doing carpentry. Those ones are what they call trade school. So when your child finishes high school, they will want to go to college. I have a cold, guys. They will want to go to college. So when they want to go to college, they will decide, do they want to go to a trade school? A trade school, you'll go to a community college, and it won't take them long to get done. Maybe if they go to do welding, it can be like closer, maybe like 2 semesters or 3 semesters, and then they are done. So it's like it's they get that certification to do that kind of job, or welding. That's the trade school. Now, you can decide you don't want to go to do trade school. You want to go and do a degree. You want to go and major something, a degree. For example, something like nursing. That's not trade school. That's a little bit different. Although there is that nursing, it's kind of a diploma, the LPN, whereby you go for 1 year. Of course, you've done your prerequisites. That one you wouldn't call it a trade school, because that one is a little bit different. So you choose. The kids choose when they have finished high school, because you won't be able to choose for them. It's not like the way we used to go to school at home, and then our parents would be like, I want you to be a teacher, I want you to be a doctor, or whatever. No, it doesn't work like that here. They make their own choices. You let them make their own choices, because sometimes you'll tell them to do a certain course, but that's not what they want. Because when they go to school, they are taught how to be individual and how to be able to select stuff for them. So when you find that when your child has finished high school, they will come to you and they will tell you, this is what I want to do. Hmm? So if you have other thoughts, maybe you wanted them to do something else, it will be very, very hard to convince them to do it, because they are doing it for themselves. And like I told you, here when we bring up our kids, it's a little bit different. They are very, very independent, very, very independent. And what you do is that you try to talk to them a lot, and try to reach a common ground. So because even when they go to high school, they have to give you permission to see their grades, even if you are the one who is paying school fees, because they're being taught to be um, adults, or to be individuals. So they will decide, they will come and tell you, because when they are in 12th grade, they are taught whether how to choose between whether they want to do a trade school or they want to go and get that degree. They are taught. So that is trade school. That was in college. Now, the normal school for kids, it doesn't matter whether you take them to a private school or you take them to a public school. It's all the same. The only difference is that when you take them to a private school, you have to pay. You have to pay more. The public school, you still pay, but it's very little money. You pay very little money, and there's some at some point, if you're not able to, because there are some people who are not able to, the low income families, you find that there are ways that they will advise you on how to go about it, and then you can get help. Because why I like here in the US is that even if you have problems, you always get help. They won't, like, it's not like the way you find that and this is so sad that this happens a lot in Africa, whereby if you don't have anything, then you don't have anybody to help you. You find that this one is a little bit different. So because if you have a problem, you have low income, then you go and you give your pay stubs. Of course, you have to prove and show and tell them, this is what I make for a year or whatever. Then they will help you. You see what I mean? So the normal school for kids, you decide, do I want to take my kids to a private school? Do I want to take it to a public school? Now, I've tested both of them, because my kids, I took them, when I came in, Eric and Christine went to a private school, a Catholic school, because I felt like it was good to take them to a Christian school. And I still have those, I still believe in that. But at some point, I had to take Christine out of the private school and take her to a public school, because there were some resources that she was missing in the private school that she could find in the public school. You see what I mean? So it depends, because at the same time, when you take them to the public school, they don't learn anything to do with religion. There's nothing like that that is taught there, because you find that we have Muslims, we have Christians, we have Arabic. We have different kinds of people. We even have people who do not believe in anything. They're just there. They don't believe in anything. And because of that diversity, that's why you find that they do not teach Christianity there or any religion stuff. They don't teach it there. So I felt that I would take my kids to a Catholic school. That would help. But then at the same time, after like now Christine was there for like how many years? 4 years. I felt like she was missing something. And that's something I could only get, that resource I could only get it on a public school. So I had to take her to a public school. But at the same time, because you know the roots that we grew with, you have to instill them to your children, and you have to teach them, what you know. All the virtues that you can still instill in them even if you're taking them to a public school. So it all depends on where you want to take your kids. And of course, if you're going to a private school, um, mostly you are a member of that church. Because it's easier when you are a member of that church. So you still pay, but you don't pay a lot, because there are some things that you do. There are some activities that you will be doing there, and they kind of balance with what your child is doing. So there is no difference. It depends on where you want to take your kids. All right. Okay. How is real estate there over there, and how do you qualify to buy a house there? Now, real estate is really good. In the beginning, it's a little bit, maybe you'll find some challenges, but let's assume that you have your own first house, your first home. You have your first home. Of course, they'll go through all your credit. You have to have a good job, and you have to have all that stuff. The first hurdle, I would say, is buying your first house. But after you have bought your first house, and you are making payments really nicely, and you're doing your other things very nicely, it's not hard to get a second house. But when you're getting the second mortgage, then they're gonna look at your income, what you're getting, to your debt ratio. That means this is what you're making, and these are your debts. Because when you go to apply for anything you go to apply on, the person who is giving you a loan, they will go and they will bring up this in their screen. They will see all these debts. Is this what this person owes? These are the debts that they have. So when they look at your debt ratio, and then they look at your income ratio, if they still feel that you will be able to meet the cost of this other house, then you will get a second house. You see what I mean? Or you can decide, I don't want to rent, I don't want to buy by debt, I can buy cash. Then you will be able to buy cash. You can buy a house that is not very expensive, and then you work on it. You furnish it, you work on it, and you make it new. Then after you have made it new, you sell it. You find that the price that you bought that house initially, when we bought it at a lower price, after you have renovated it, you have renovated the house, then of course, before you sell it, you will have it appraised. An appraisal is whereby maybe you bought a house at $50,000 cash. Then you renovated it and everything. So at that time, that house, that was the cost, because it had been appraised by that. You find that every year you will get some letters that will tell you that your house can cost this amount from the city council. Then so you have renovated your house, you will call an appraiser. There are some people who do that work. They come, and an appraiser gets the real value of your house at that time, in current time, in real time, how much would that house cost. So when they appraise the house, maybe you'll find that your house has appraised for another maybe $40,000, and then you can sell the house. When you sell it, then you will have capital to buy another one. You can do that. Or after you have renovated that house, you can decide to sell it, and then you get capital and buy another house. You see what I mean? So it's not hard. It can be done, but you have to make sure that, especially if you're going on the debt, if you're using your own money, it's easy. But if you're going through the debt, whereby you have to borrow money from the bank for you to be able to finance your projects, then that means that they will always have to look at your debt to income ratio. How much are you getting, and how much debt do you have, so that you qualify. I think I should talk about that more. I should talk about that more with my husband, because he's the one who is involved in all that. Okay, now let's see. I'm a DV 2023 and I am planning to come over. Francis Nalianya, I wish you all the best. Charity, what approach do Kenyan parents use to get their teenage boy to get circumcised since now they are taught to make their own decisions? Now, before we came here, you guys know I have a son. And he was, when we were coming from there, he was circumcised at that time because we didn't know the culture from here. But you know the way you teach your parents, the way that you show your kids, or you know, they will never come out of it. That's our, you know, ourselves. When we come to the US, we do not change who we are. Yes, we are US citizens and we are all that, but that does not change who we are. And you're going to understand that more when you come to live here, because you will know that even if you interact with the other Black Americans and everything, you will still be that Native African. Now, when it comes to that, what I see many parents doing is that they wait and then they take their boys back home so that they can go, they can do that, whatever, they can go through that rite of passage. And that's boys only, girls no. You take your boys home. I've seen several people, when the boys come of age, they take them back home and they do that. If not, you find that some people, they normally have their boys circumcised when they have been born, when they're little. I've seen some other people do that. There are some who wait until they reach at that age and then they take them back. But you have to teach them. You have to teach them, this is what we do, you know, this is how our culture is, because you're not gonna just, you know, you cannot forget about where you came from or how you grew up. Those are our values, you know what I mean? Like, for example, I have girls and I have a son. The marriage, you know, the African marriage, the way it's done, they cannot abandon that, because we have to go through all those rites of passage. You know, if my daughters are to be married off, they're not going to just be married off the American way that they get married off. No, that's not going to happen, because we have our own values and we have our own cultures. So what I was talking about, and I need you to get me clear here, is that I was talking about advising them about education. You cannot choose for them. They choose for themselves. You can advise, but you cannot tell them this is what you are going to do, and period. No, you cannot do that. But when it comes to our boys, because we know, we know like how much circumcision means, especially in the Mount Kenya region, that they have to be circumcised. That's a rite of passage from them, from boys to men. You know, we know that's important. Then, since when they were little, you will tell them that after you reach at this age, this is going to happen. This is how we do it. You know what I mean? So that one is not going to be a problem. It all depends on how you bring up your kids, because you you will come here, you will become westernized and everything, but your values, do not let them change. Mine have never changed. Mine have never changed, and most people haven't changed. Look at there are so many even women who are here and they're not married and they're going back home to do you know, when you're not married in the Kikuyu custom, if you're not married, you have to go home and pay your own bride price. So many women are doing that, and they're living, and they've been living in the US for over like 30 years. They're doing that. They are going back home and doing what they are supposed to do right by their parents, because it's a, you know, it's a rite of passage. It's something that has to be done. So that one is not going to be difficult for you to do. You have to teach your children your values. You have to. You can't forget that. You have to do that. Okay. Lisa Kinodi, hi Charity, thanks for the good information. God bless you. Is it easy to get ICT jobs over there? Yes, it is very easy. It's easy to get the jobs. You just need to have, you know, that qualification. When you have that qualification, you're good to go, and you have the right. Of course, when you have the right, you know, the right paperwork for you to be able to work, you'll get that. I hope you're fine. My question is work experience if you win lottery without high school education. I talked about that, David. My Waters, I need you to go to the beginning of this video. That was my first question that I answered, and I did pull up a website there. You're going to see it. I need you to go to that website, and then you enter what you're doing. When you enter the type of work that you're doing, you will you will put it there. I have explained very well. I pulled up that website and I told you what to look for, and you will do that. Now, how long did it take? Did you take to get the citizenship, Francis? Now it took us. We applied for citizenship after 7 years. Yeah, after 7 years. But you find that when you come with the DV lottery, you do you qualify to apply for your citizenship after 5 years. You do, but since it's a money thing, it's a money thing. You have to pay. It's not free of charge. We started doing on our application when we had reached 6 years, and then I think COVID came. No, before COVID came, we had gotten our citizenship, but I remember my son got his later because we had to apply, me and my husband first, and then we had to apply for the kid. So I remember Eric going for himself later, because when your child is 18, when you do the application for them, of course you'll do the application for them, but when they are 18, they have to go in by themselves. They have to do the test, the citizenship test. You normally have to do like that test where they give you 100 questions that you have to memorize, and then you go for the test. Today they will test you for English, and they will ask you questions from that booklet that they gave you to read, and you have to pass a certain number of questions for you to qualify. So if you pass that certain number of questions, then they will give you a date whereby you are going to get your certificate for citizenship. It's not so hard. It's easy. So after 5 years, you can apply. You can they have given you a grace period of 10 years, because your green card, the one that you get after you win the DV lottery, is going to have an expiry date after 10 years. So you have all that time to prepare. Of course, you cannot apply before that 5 years is over. And of course, when you're a permanent resident, you cannot vote. You cannot vote about anything. But the moment you become a US citizen, then you can vote. I remember as soon as we got our citizenship, we were closer to voting for Biden, and I did go and vote. So that's a good question, a very, very good question. So guys, I hope that I have been able to interact with you guys. I'm going to try to be more present, and I'm going to try to upload more videos. So if you have a question, and if you haven't liked my video, please like it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I will see you on another live show on Saturday. We're going to do another live show on Saturday, same time. And God bless you, and stay safe.